Cheers, wake up. This came in the mail for you.
Really? What is it?
I don't know. I haven't even opened it yet. All I know is that it's for you.
A ring?
You must be the one and only Tony Sonic.
What? Who are you?
Sorry for startling you, sir. Do you have any idea how long I've been in that ring? 2,000 years. I'm kidding, it's been 2 days.
Should I go get the baseball bat and hit him for you?
Not yet. What do you want with me?
Oh, nothing much. First off, I'm a huge fan of your rebuttals, and I want to be a part of it. So I was thinking we'll start with this.
You know, I think I'm actually gonna like this guy.
Wow, you just went from wanting to smack him in the head to immediately liking him in 2 seconds flat, huh?
Alright, I'm allowed to change my mind.
Are you two brothers?
Nah, he's me from another dimension. We've been living together ever since the Wonderful 101 video.
Is there a link in the description for that video?
I can always add one later. In any case, if you want to be part of that video, I am about to start it, so we can always have a partner.
If you start replacing me, I'm gonna go get that bat, not just for him, but also you.
Relax, no one will ever replace you. I can allow my fans to join in from time to time.
Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll leave you to it. I'm gonna go play some Halo.
Okay, let's get started.
So, where are we exactly? Sonic's next to a fireplace on what seems to be a bed or a couch. We see a globe later on, and he has a book on his face. I mean, I know this is a video game and all, but that's a very specific setting that we've never seen before.
This is Sonic's house. We just don't see it very often because either Eggman's causing trouble or Sonic's out and about.
You are the blue hedgehog.
Ah! Is that how that works? Didn't Aladdin have to rub his hands together or something to get the genie of the ring out?
That's the genie of the lamp you're thinking of. The Genie of the Ring is its own story.
Aladdin in the magic lamp?
Don't think I've read that.
Doesn't matter if you've read it or not, you've at least heard of the story, haven't you? I mean, you had the book on your face. People usually read the Arabian Nights because of that story.
Even if he was reading the book, there are 1,001 stories in that book. It's not unreasonable if he missed one of them. Besides, Shara makes note of the fact that he somehow hadn't read that story.
It's the best story of all the Arabian Nights. Or at least the second best.
Yeah, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves was way better.
Yeah, it literally is.
He could not bear to simply remain in the book any longer. And so he has begun to set the inscriptions free, absorbing the power of the book itself.
The power of the book?
You know, this is something to think about. How do Shara and Eraser Jin know that they live inside a book? Furthermore, if they know that they live inside a book, does Sonic know he lives inside a video game?
Why on earth would you assume that? Eraser and Shara are genies, the former being able to destroy universes with ease. Them knowing they live in a book is understandable. Assuming the same applies to Sonic isn't. Yeah, there have been moments where the fourth wall is jabbed at, but those are merely jabs. They've never truly broken it like, say, Undertale or Doki Doki.
You are my master, having called forth the genie of the ring.
Well, that's boosh. All I did was grab the ring. Does that mean that if I just touch a house, I'm the master of everyone inside it?
Of course not, numbnuts. Those are two completely separate things. In this instance, coming into contact with the ring made Sonic Shara's master.
What? Inside that book?
Now please, place the ring on your finger.
Why was the ring much bigger earlier? Before it could fit as a wristlet for Sonic, and now it's small enough to be a regular finger ring.
Maybe it's because Shara wanted Sonic to notice the ring. It's a lot harder to spot a normal-sized ring, especially one made for Sonic's fingers.
Also, why was the magic ring even there to begin with? Isn't it supposed to be an item from the storybook? Wouldn't that mean that the world of the Arabian Nights already exists in the real world? And if the answer is Shara put it there, then can she just do that? Can she just put magical storybook items in the real world? Because she's in the real world right now. That's Razor Jin's goal, and he's supposed to be more powerful than Shara is, so why can't he just do what Shara did?
Eraser's goal isn't just to escape, it's to become more powerful enough to make the multiverse of the book and the multiverse outside the book his own, and that is only possible with the 7 world rings.
Someone tell me that this isn't really happening?
I know, right?
Lay off. Secret Rings isn't amazing, but it's not offensive.
I am the one who shall carve up this world as I see fit.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna do that, can you at least wait until I'm done reading it first?
Aha! So you were reading it. But why?
Who needs a reason to read a book? I can't believe you thought this kind of stuff was okay back then. Besides, when's the right age to stop reading books? I still do.
Then, with the 7 world rings?
7 world rings?
Discount Chaos Emeralds.
Rings and emeralds are two different things.
I was gonna say that doesn't really work since this is the same franchise where the Chaos Emeralds are a thing, but that works too. Besides, the Soul Emeralds aren't exactly discount Chaos Emeralds, are they?
If you do not, your life is forfeit.
Huh? I didn't catch that last word. Your echo coupled with the low volume of your voice against the music doesn't help.
What are you talking about? Anyone could hear that, and even if you couldn't, the subtitles are there for a reason.
King is the creator of the Arabian Nights and the main character of the story.
Actually, technically, Queen Scheherazade was the creator of the stories. And even then, she'd collected them from different sources so that Shahryar wouldn't behead her. If anything, Scheherazade is the main character.
In that sense, sure, but King Shahryar has a main presence in all the stories, so he is at least a main character.
My name is Alibaba.
Come on, Tails. I know it's you.
I'm very sorry. He seems to have mistaken you for someone else.
Oh, it's okay. I'm still very grateful that you saved me.
You're not gonna make Sonic marry your son, right?
Ew, no, don't bring that stuff up.
Sonic, look!
Suddenly Resident Evil.
Charriii makes a video game reference that isn't a sin of the game cliche.
That's a promise from me to you.
Yes, all right.
Creepy Resident Evil monster about to wreck it, but there's still time for a pinky promise.
Yes, there is, because Sonic is the fastest thing alive.
When darkness descends upon the Arabian Nights...
Are we not gonna talk about how grabbing the ring causes Sonic pain? No?
Legendary?
Okay.
It wasn't that much pain. If it were destroying his arm, sure, but that was more of a slap on the wrist. Even then, Charriii explains more about the rings as the story goes on.
The legendary blue hedgehog from another world shall come.
Me? Legendary? You've gotta be kidding. You're gonna make me blush.
When the 7 rings that control the worlds are gathered, the portal between the worlds shall open. But the life of the collector of the rings shall be offered up in sacrifice as the key for that control. That is what is written in the newest chapter of the Arabian Nights.
Wait, but earlier you said...
The king is the creator of the Arabian Nights.
And then he said...
Seize this blue spiky thing at once!
If he's the creator of the stories, that means he wrote that last part too, which means he should know who Sonic is. If he didn't write it, who did?
If he's the creator, then he obviously did write it. King Shahryar is known for being extremely cruel and ignorant in the stories. No wonder he's portrayed as Eggman.
Yeah, no, that jacket would have ripped right off. You should be dead.
That's for the sake of a joke. Plus, it should have ripped when he was carried by the pterosaur as well, but it didn't.
Come forth from the fiery depths of Jahannam, ye condemned by Iblis.
Sonic 06.
At any rate, you'd better hurry it up.
Dang!
Ow, the edge.
I know you're being sarcastic, but come on, nothing in this scene warrants a remark like that.
It's no use, Sonic!
I get that the phrase reminds you of Silver, but anyone can say it's no use. Eggman said an adventure after all.
Time break!
Discount Chaos Control.
Like we said, it doesn't work since this exists in the same franchise as Chaos Control.
Not to mention, by your logic, any time-stopping ability, for example Dante's Quicksilver in DMC3, would also be Discount Chaos Control.
Also, Discount Egg Golem. Man, this game really likes adventure chewing it up, doesn't it?
I will admit there are similarities between the two, but they are still different since their powers and fights are largely different from each other.
Well, according to rumor, he was fighting some pirates when he was taken away by the roof.
The roof?
The roof is on fire.
It's a giant...
I'm sorry, I had to.
No, don't ever do that again.
I am Sinbad of the 7 Seas, adventurer of adventurers. Who the heck are you?
Oh, Sinbad, it truly is you, the great adventurer.
Voice has exclamation, but subtitles say interrogation.
Typos aren't sins. They're insignificant unless you see a lot of them, on the same level as your paper jam video.
Why not just try splashing some water on him?
Wow, the wisdom of Sinbad of the Seven Seas, the adventurer of adventurers.
I don't even mean to say anything here.
Charriii sends something he agrees with, cliche.
A water blue
ring.
First a fire genie and now pirates, huh? The Arabian Nights really are worlds of endless adventures, aren't they?
Nope, just 2001.
Thanks, Mr. Literal. Sonic wasn't being that literal, but whatever.
Just touching it makes me feel like I've got a whirlpool of emotion spiraling around inside me. I can't even begin to imagine what having all 7 rings would do to someone.
And we'll technically never know.
And this'll be explained a bit later, but it's impossible to have all 7 rings at once. So not seeing someone with all 7 makes sense.
It might even open the gates of hell!
Ow, the edge. This game is just on a roll.
I guess even the mention of hell triggers you. It's not like Sonic's all kid-friendly all the time.
Looks like I'm the only one that can touch them. I bet you it's because I'm not from this world.
But earlier Sinbad said,
You see, the pirates who locked me up here took the water blue ring I used to control storms.
so he obviously would have needed to be able to touch the ring if he wanted to control the seas, right? So, what's the deal?
The deal is that the ring got cursed after the ring was taken by the pirates, so after Sonic took out the captain, the curse was broken. That's probably the only theory I got.
Plus, it's stated in the Sonic Wiki that the rings can be controlled and held via magic.
Come on! We're almost there!
Kicking a ticking time bomb might not be the best idea, Sonic.
He says while showing nothing bad coming from it.
To think this little thing could cause so much trouble.
You mean the ring?
No, he means the flame on his chest. Of course he means the ring, dumbass!
Do you really see yourself as better than these characters when you make these videos? Because that's the vibe I get when I hear stuff like this. And let the majority of this series show that that's completely untrue.
I sense death approaching.
Unnecessary foreshadowing.
So is this the reason you send foreshadowing? Because you think it's unnecessary? In what universe is foreshadowing unnecessary?
Suddenly CGI, for some reason.
It's to get you hyped for the climax, which I think is accomplished very well.
After all these years, I am just now noticing that Sonic doesn't have the flame on his chest in this scene, but he does later.
He doesn't always have it in gameplay either, but it's still there even when you don't see it. Same applies here.
Okay, and that did...
It was a challenge to Sonic, and he accepts.
The 7 world rings. This one is purple.
Oh! This one is sealed with sadness.
Yeah, because when I think sadness, I think of the color purple.
Sadness can be portrayed as any gloomy color, and since blue is taken by water/prayers, purple is the next one in line.
There's something I've been thinking about, Charriii.
What is it?
How do you and the Eraser Djinn know each other?
Good, I'm not the one that has to ask.
And we get something of an answer later. It's implied that the two used to be in a relationship a long time ago.
I have an idea. Watch this. Open Sesame!
You know Open Sesame from Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, but you don't know anything about Aladdin and the magic f***ing lamp?
Yes.
The 7 rings that control the worlds are gathered. The portal between worlds shall open.
Nope. There's no goddamn way that you learn the prophecy word for word by just hearing it once.
Except Sonic is showing how good of a memory he has. Oh yeah, of little faith.
Let us rule the world together.
Charriii? What?
I must.
Charriii, stop! You can't do this! Think about what will happen!
I'm sorry. I have no choice. I just want to be back with him.
You! Traitorous bitch!
Now you're just reacting to what's happening on the screen.
Do what you truly think is right!
It would have been really fucked up if what she thought was right was giving the rings to the Eraser Djinn.
But it wasn't. What's the point of sins like these?
So allegedly what happens here is Sonic absorbs the rings of rage, hatred, and sadness, thus transforming into Darkspine Sonic. But why? Why did those rings come out of Alpha in the first place?
Here's your explanation that was hinted at earlier. Every ring has a certain emotion tied to it. To control a certain ring's power, I can only assume that you must feel said emotion. And while Eraser was given the ability to control all the rings at once, to maintain that power, you need to feel every emotion of the rings, which is frankly impossible. Eraser, in that moment, had his prayers and wishes granted, which caused him to feel joy and pleasure. But he had no reason to feel rage, hatred, or sadness. Sonic, however, just witnessed his friend dying, which made him feel sadness for Charriii and rage and hatred towards Eraser, albeit not as strongly as most people would. So those 3 rings left Eraser and went to Sonic.
Wouldn't Charriii technically count as a collector of the rings if she was guiding Sonic, thus making Alpha Layla complete? What would happen if Sonic had absorbed all the rings at this point? Hell, what would happen if he was the one who wanted to use them in the first place? He was the collector, would he have to kill himself?
Nope. And we'll never truly know because he never got the chance and yes, or kill Charriii instead.
Earlier Charriii said,
I just want to be back with him.
what does that mean? Were they involved romantically at some point? If so, why aren't they still together? If the answer is because Eraser Jin went cuckoo for Cocoa Puff so Charriii left him and wanted to stop him, why would she, even for 1 second, betray Sonic and give Eraser the rings? If the answer is because it was an abusive codependent relationship and she planned to use Sonic to collect the rings all along, then why would she at first say that they didn't even exist and that she wouldn't give them to him even if they did? Eraser seemed pretty sure that she would, meaning he knew that she wanted to be with him again. I guess I'd believe it if it were a last-minute thing, but wouldn't it have just been easier to say, oh, and by the way, the only thing that can stop Eraser Jin are the 7 world rings. You need to help me collect them.
Eraser and Charrii's relationship isn't truly explained in depth, but you could still pick up the pieces from certain points in the story. The likely answer is that Charriii did leave him because Eraser wanted to remake the Arabian Nights, but during the story, she was reminded of her previous love for Eraser, which led her to almost betray Sonic.
That can't be.
Wait, why does the phrase "that can't be" have an exclamation and a question mark? It's not a question.
It's an exclamation of disbelief. That's why the question mark is there.
To go back to the way you were.
That's not how you've said it.
Nobody cares.
Hey!
Nobody cares.
That doesn't make any sense.
Charriii used the last of her power to reveal the lamp. I'm really beginning to think you choose to not think when you make these videos.
My first wish, bring Charriii back to life.
My body! My body is
Wait, but earlier Charriii said,
Long ago, he was punished for his misdeeds and sealed away in the lamp. He would not be forgiven until he had granted the wishes of 1,000 people. But when his sentence had been served...
When his sentence had been served, meaning that he was no longer bound to the rules of the lamp. So technically he shouldn't have to grant Sonic or anyone who would have the lamp's wishes at all.
Nope, wrong again. Eraser was and still is the genie of the lamp. The sentence was that he couldn't leave his lamp until he had granted 1,000 wishes.
Smart to bring Charriii back to life before restoring the Arabian Nights, because if memory serves me right, one of the rules of the Genie of the Lamp is that you can't bring anyone back from the dead. No Arabian Nights, no rules. However, no Arabian Nights, no rules. That would mean that the rules of the lamp still wouldn't apply to Eraser Jin, even if he hadn't served his sentence yet.
You're confusing the actual story of Aladdin with Disney's Aladdin. Sorry if I ruined anyone's childhood with this, but Disney didn't invent the Aladdin story. In the original story, no such rules exist, at least to my knowledge.
Charriii, will you grant me one more wish? I wish for a mountain of handkerchiefs. Now, just let yourself cry, as much as you need to. You'll have plenty of handkerchiefs to help you through it.
I can't help but get the feeling that they didn't know how to end this, so they tried to do something symbolic, but it just ended up being stupid.
Calling this ending stupid. This is not only a callback to the start of the game, but it's also a really sweet thing for Sonic to do for his friend. 10 cents for being an ass.
Party games. Because those were fun, right?
Have you actually bothered to play the party games? Because there are people who say that the games themselves aren't actually not that bad, they were just a little unnecessary.
Along the way, he had many adventures. But those are stories for another time.
That we will never see.
You want to know why that is? Because it took all you Sonic fans a decade to appreciate what you were given, you ungrateful little shit.
Also, after all of that, you don't bother sending the horrid gameplay.
Hey everyone, Tony Sonic here. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, I hope you enjoy it a lot. I kind of love and hate secret rings. For example, the story and music are really good to me. But on the other hand, I really hate how this game controls. Like, it's fine for the first hour or so, but once that hour is up, it gets tiring fast. I still wouldn't call it a bad game, not by any means, but I still wouldn't place it in my top 10 favorites. What do you think, LFon?
Well, this was the first game I ever owned related to Sonic the Hedgehog next to, say, Sonic Rush on the DS. I thought it was alright as a kid, but growing up, I can see that the game is not perfect. In terms of the story and the music, it's excellent, but it didn't have the best gameplay, and 7 Rings in Hand is still catchy regardless of how often it's played.
Alrighty then. With that said, thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down below, and consider subscribing. That way the channel can keep going strong. Heck, you can even check out LFonTV's channel if you want. I'll link it down in the description. Now then, next time you better prepare yourself for a rush of adventure, because I have a bone to pick with this one.